Shout out to the mama chiefs. Yeah, you be quiet when Big Mama speak. What she gave us is a part of me. It flows through my arteries. Even on that journey, that love grows how the garden be. The first to teach us when we sick, the first to heal us. Mama's boy, yeah, you know, her pride and joy. Soul food, yeah, you know, I'm an enjoy. Calm you down just by the sound of her voice. There isn't another feeling inside. When they cheering you on at your game and you feeling the pride. You and your siblings fighting, she gon' make you put them feelings aside. She can't lead you down the road, but she can give you the guide. Where you think I get that blissful look in my eyes? I need a side of ice cream with them odds apple pie. You know for sure for Mama Chief, you know I'ma ride. Cause we all need a Mama Chiefs. Yeah, we all love a Mama Chiefs. The greatness, the patience, the foundation, the knowledge passed down so many generations. Our motivation, I just wanna thank you for my creation. Cause we all love a Mama Chiefs. Yeah, we all need a Mama Chiefs. Yeah, we all ride for Mama Chief. The dedication, I seen your tears at my graduation. Now look, Ma, your boy that made it. You the reason I'm one of the greatest. Yeah, cause we all need a Mama Chiefs.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use, for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips in the balance of the favor of fair use.
A person who is spiritually gifted, like prophetically they can see, won't say nothing about what they picked up on. Those are the type of people who have wisdom and understanding. They will move themselves completely. They would separate themselves because whatever they picked up, they either seen it in a dream, they feel it, God has told them because they have discernment. Y'all got to stop playing with these people and playing with them because they know when your intentions aren't right. They may not say nothing. They may not act indifferent towards you. They may not act mean towards you. But those are the people that can pick up on spirits. They know when something's off. They know when somebody don't like them. And if I'm the type of person, if I know you don't like me, I'm not going to put myself in your presence. Be careful of those who can prophetically see, prophetically sense and feel and have wisdom. Because if I sense and feel something, and your intentions aren't right and your motives are wicked, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna act indifferent. I'm going to go. I'm going to remove myself. I have seen beyond your flesh. I see your spirit. Y'all better stop playing with these prophetic people that got a relationship with God. Stop playing with people that see, because God will show them in a dream, in a vision. God will tell them. Y'all better stop playing with God chosen.
Welcome to Blended Healing. Is a generational curse affecting your family? A generational curse is any trait that could be passed from one generation to the next. And the purpose of parents is to guide their children to a better life. However, some families tend to have negative trends that reoccur in each generation, and these trends are called generational curses. These generational curses could be curses in religious text and historical literature. And it's quite unfortunate that only a few people take generational curses seriously today. A generational curse is not a habit or a hereditary disease passed from parent to the offspring. Generational curses are powerful black magic spells that are placed on a bloodline. You already know what real black magic is and some of the signs of black magic. You see, black magic consist of dark spells. Dark spells. Mm. These black spells can come through black ma- magicians, through terrifying rituals. And I don't mean black in color, I mean black as the practice. And these spells involve a lot of manipulation that can um, that adds a lot of spiritual energy and can bring effects in people's lives. A generational curse, unlike a regular spell, does not stop on the original victim, but it can affect any of the individual's descendants. Here are some of the common signs to look out for a generational curse. I want you to understand that this is not a substitution. This is just information. Do not take this as this is for entertainment purposes only. Number one, family-wide manifestations. Diseases that run in families. A generational curse can manifest in different members of the family. And that's the first cue to look out for. If you're having unexplainable challenges, try to find out if anybody in your family, both dead or alive, has gone through the same situation. And if you notice a trend, don't hesitate to look into it further and seek spiritual cleansing. Number two, relative marriage problems. Every relationship has its ups and downs, and have multiple members of your family suffering from broken homes is a bad omen. And it's okay to have problems in your marriage from time to time, but in different in cases, working out differences with your partner strengthens your relationship. But if you start to suspect a bigger problem, that there are some serious issues in your relationship, or if you had multiple divorces, see if any other person in your family had the same issue. Did your aunt, your uncles, your parents go through any similar situations? And if they did, then you need to start thinking about an ancestral curse. Number three, historical financial problems. That is another cue. If several members of your family have always struggled with money, there are numerous reasons families stay in poverty, including location, educational status, economic opportunities. But try to find out if there's any logical reason why members of your family struggle with money. And you may notice that your parents kept making bad investments, or kept having their businesses fail, or struggled to hold down a job. And if you notice a similar trend developing in your life, this might mean that there's more behind your financial woes, and it might be a generational curse at work. Hereditary health challenges are one of the most common signs of an ancestral curse. It's where it becomes confusing because people don't believe in spiritual influences can cause physical illness, but it can. An ancestral curse can bring about unexplainable illness that keeps reoccurring. And to make matters worse, doctors won't find anything wrong with you. And you can end up using a lot of different medications, and yet you have no relief. Number five, depression. It's another common sign. And that generational spell can suddenly bring everything in the victim's life to a crawl. One moment you could be fine, and the next your life may lose its meaning. And the curse brings about this by infusing victims' lives with an untold amount of negativity. And if you notice a sudden outburst or unexplained negativity in your life, or you suddenly become depressed, start suspecting black magic. Number 6, bad luck. That's also common. And it's similar to the signs of the evil eye. The generational curse can bring about unimaginable levels of bad luck in a person's life. Now, this is not the usual string of bad luck people go through. This is intensive bad luck that is present in every aspect of your life, including work, relationships, home, business, and others. And that's why it's not advisable to stop with warding off the evil eye when you're having a bad luck. And you can also learn how to remove black magic, especially generational black magic. Now you can obtain, I'm putting a plug in, shameless. You can obtain an evil eye necklace from Shamaka Essential Blends on Etsy, as well as evil eye bracelets. I wear one every day. I never take it off. My bracelet, I never take it off. It stays on. I just switch it from arm to arm. But like I said, you can purchase it at Shamaka Essential Blends. Number 7, anxiety. Anxiety is a psychological manifestation of an ancestral curse. It can lead to the development of unnecessary phobias or crippling anxiety. You can start avoiding people, work, or social events out of the blue. And people who develop anxiety have triggers. But in this instant, there is usually no triggering event. You may notice others in your bloodline suffering from similar issues. Number 8, skin changes. A generational curse that involves dark magic that can change your skin. Skin changes are classical effects of black magic. As a victim, you could start having sudden and unexplainable changes to your skin, such as discoloration, spots, ugly wrinkles, and worse. If after seeking, going to a dermatologist, getting that treatment for your skin, and it still persists, then it's likely due to a curse. And these manifestations are meant to damage your looks and prevent you from performing at your best. And if not eradicated on time, this can easily lead to embarrassment and worse, depression. Number 9, infertility. A generational curse can make it difficult for affected couples to have kids. As a victim, you could start having medical problems such as low sperm count, erectile dysfunction, impotence, miscarriage, or reoccurrent miscarriages. And in extreme cases, you may have no symptoms, but find it impossible to conceive. And similar to other symptoms, this can also be present in other family members, and doctors may not find a cause for the infertility. There is spiritual work you can do to increase chances of pregnancy.
Here are 7 signs that you are dealing with a generational curse. Now, a generational curse is a demonic covenant that dates back several generations and is usually initiated by some form of transgression against God by an ancestor. This curse persists generation after generation until someone rises up in the family and says, enough is enough. The first sign that you're dealing with a generational curse is if you're seeing persistent family issues or marital issues in your lineage. If your parents had a dysfunctional marriage, your family life was dysfunctional, your grandparents had a dysfunctional marriage, their family life was dysfunctional, your aunts and uncles have dysfunctional relationships and dysfunctional families, you're probably looking at a curse. The second sign is physical health issues. If you're noticing that there's a disease that's running rampant in your family from generation to generation, this was rampant in your grandparents' generation, rampant in your parents' generation, rampant in your generation, you're probably dealing with a curse. The third is mental health issues, and the same indications for physical health issues apply. The fourth is stagnation. If you're noticing that you can't move past a certain point in your life and career, no matter how hard you try, you see a similar pattern in your family, you may be dealing with a curse. The fifth is perpetual poverty, and this is self-explanatory. If you're seeing generation after generation after generation impoverished, you're probably dealing with a curse. The sixth is accident prone. If you're seeing ridiculous, chaotic accidents happening to you or people in your family regularly, something may be wrong. And the seventh is reoccurrence of untimely and tragic death. If you're seeing this persistently, something may be wrong. Christ came to give life and give life abundantly. If you are seeing these persistent manifestations in your family and in your life, it's time to stop accepting that this is just your lot in life and go deep in your prayer closet to find out the root.
Welcome back. Number 10, suicides. Because the symptoms of a generational curse are quite terrible, some victims end up taking their lives. Therefore, if you're going through some rough, tough challenges, find out if there has been any case of suicide in your family. And this might be a pointer that there's a curse running rampant on your bloodline. Number 11, behavioral changes. Another notorious sign of black magic is sudden changes in your behavior. As a victim, it may be difficult to notice this in yourself. However, try to investigate if you notice any sudden negative behavioral changes in any of your family members. A common example includes quitting one's job or traveling without informing anyone. A victim of a curse can start living irresponsibly and may start indulging in harmful practices such as drug use, unchecked partying, smoking, and so on. And if you noted this in multiple family members. Number 12, criminality. Although studies have shown that there may be a genetic link to criminality in families, it can also be caused by a spiritual curse. A generational curse can induce negative changes in people, therefore making them susceptible to criminality. An ancestral curse can develop a tendency for crime in you or your family members. Number 13, schizophrenic symptoms. This is another common sign of the schizophrenic manifestation. A magic curse can infiltrate people's minds and disrupt their perception of reality. And as a result, affected family members can start having delusions and hallucinations. Therefore, they can become irrational and paranoid. Number 14, odor crisis. This is serious, especially if it has malignant odors. And as a victim, you can suddenly develop intense body and mouth odor that has nothing to do with hygiene. And this can be bad. And it can lead people to avoiding you and treating you differently. It is also often resistant to all forms of treatment and perfumes. Number 15, social isolation. This can bring about isolation from both your family and your personal social circle due to other symptoms and intense negativity caused by the curse. You can push people away and become isolated. Sadly, you may be unaware of the early signs until you have been abandoned by everyone. If you notice the situation in yourself or any other family member, it may be due to a generational curse.
That are on the planet know that are the cycle breakers. They're the ones that are breaking the mold of their family line. They're the ones that are breaking the patterns that came through their family line. And the reason why they're able to do this is because they're the ones who actually came and actually have the ability to feel all the pain from their entire lineage. Everybody else was numbing and dumbing down the pain, numbing the emotional trauma, numbing it down, keeping it as a family secret, pretending it wasn't happening, hoping that it would disappear. And it was just being passed down the bloodline. What's happening now, which is part of the whole awakening process, is that there are a group of people that are here on the planet now that are feeling everything from their entire bloodline. And they're feeling it so they can break it, shut it down.
Welcome back. How to break a generational curse. Suspecting the presence of spiritual curse is only the first step. To get back your life on track, you're going to need to know how to break those generational curses. The good news is that clearing dark energies from your life can be done in 3 simple steps. Like I said, this is not a substitute for real experience, but it can be a stepping stone for information. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please take what resonates with you and leave the rest. There's no substitution for a professional. Number 1, confirm your suspicion. How to know if you're cursed? Well, confirming that you have a spiritual problem is the first step you have to take. And although you may notice negative trends in your family, it's best to be sure that your problem is truly spiritual. You must do this because spiritual solutions don't work for purely physical problems and vice versa. So how do you know? You can get a spiritual assessment done. There are people out there that are true magic healers around the world, and they can do a magic check to reveal if you have any spiritual attacks on you, such as evil eye or black magic. It can also reveal details about curses, such as the duration, the type, and possible solutions. All right. Number 2, energy healing. The next step is to seek a definitive cure. Genuine energy healing is provided by true magic healers or spiritual healers. A spiritual healer is a unique individual gifted with the ability to undo spiritual curses. Point of order. Avoid approaching black magicians, astrologers, or psychics for energy, as they cannot help, allegedly. Also avoid purchasing spell books, amulets, or healing charms online, allegedly. Only a true healer has the gift to offer powerful evil eye protection or break powerful generational curses. And by choosing to seek energy healing, you can break the generational curse. on every member of your family. Number 3, spiritual cleansing. After energy healing, the next step is to engage in spiritual cleansing. Usually, a generational curse causes a lot of damage, and things can take time to put it back together, to bring it normal again after the spell is broken. And engaging in spiritual cleansing practices helps in inviting positivity into your life and repairing the damage done faster. Spiritual cleansing practice includes spiritual healing prayer, meditation, counseling, practicing optimism, chanting positive mantras, so on and so forth. And engaging in these practices will help you bounce back from ancestral curses. Welcome back. So when it comes to understanding and breaking generational curses, there have been a lot of topics of intrigue and discussions for centuries. And these seemingly unbreakable patterns of negative behaviors, health issues, misfortunes have left many people wondering if they're destined to repeat the mistakes of their ancestors. Exploring signs and effects, and most importantly, how to break free from its grip. And as we stated before, let's be clear. A generational curse is a reoccurring pattern of adversity, often believed to have been passed down from one generation to the next within a family lineage. And these curses are not mere coincidences or hereditary diseases, but are thought to be powerful spiritual afflictions that can affect individuals and their descendants. There can be certain negative experiences or traits that persist across multiple generations, creating a cycle that seems to be impossible to break. Identifying whether a generational curse that may be affecting your family is the first step toward breaking free from its influence. Family-wide manifestations, relative marriage problems, historical financial problems, hereditary health challenges, depression, bad luck, anxiety, skin changes, infertility, suicides, behavioral changes, criminality, schizophrenic symptoms, as well as odor crisis and social isolation. You need to break free. And then there's steps that you can use, such as confirming your suspicions, going for energy healing, and spiritual cleansing. Ashe? All right.
How do you break a generational curse? What do you do? How do you close that door?
Great question.
Yeah, generational curses, familiar spirits don't happen by coincidence. There was agreement at some point in that lineage that opened the door to what was happening. So now, the same way that in the beginning God spoke, right? Somebody has to speak against it. So the Bible says every tongue that rises up against you, it says you shall condemn. And I love that scripture because it first starts off with, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. But then it goes deeper. It says, and every tongue that rises up against you, you shall condemn.
Yeah.
So, okay, yes, no weapon shall prosper, but how does it prosper? Somebody has to speak.
Wow.
And that's the place of prayer where you're now saying, I, in representing this bloodline, I'm coming out of agreement with this.
Amen.
Belief in generational curses is not a prerequisite for generational curses to affect individuals. These patterns can persist regardless of belief. So, understanding and breaking free from generational curse is a process that requires both spiritual insight and practical steps. And by following the guidance that you have been given over time, you can begin your journey toward breaking the cycles of generational curses in your family. May I offer that first you need to recognize the toxic behavior in your family generation. Notice those patterns in your family, because recognizing them is key and it helps you see what needs to change. And it's okay to feel upset about the patterns, but it's not your fault. And you have the power to change those habits. Observe the behaviors that you wish to cut off. Pay attention to those behaviors that you want change right away. This process is not about blame. It's about taking control of your life and your choices and being a generational curse breaker. Let the childhood trauma get healed. If you have any past hurts, taking time to heal is okay. And healing does not happen overnight. Remember, healing is not a sign of weakness. It shows strength and a desire for a better future as a generational curse breaker. Motivation is key to making changes and improving life. Write down the reasons, and keeping them visible can help remind you why the change is important. Celebrate those small victories, and each step forward is progress, no matter how small it may seem as a generational curse breaker. Continue new routines or patterns. Having routines can make you feel more organized and control in your day. This is tough work, man. This is tough work. And you have to set some healthy boundaries. You have to take some action, because it's going to come to you anyway because you were the chosen one. Every small step helps you get closer to what you want. And it's okay to take one step at a time. And if you must, and as you should, look for external support. You don't have to do everything alone. And reaching out for help with discernment and not going to the dark side can help you to succeed. I'm done. I will be covering another chapter in Hoodoo Heritage, and my next chapter up, surprisingly so, is about hexes. So if you would like to tune into that, please, by all means do. We're going to be talking about hexes, and we already just did a chapter on protection. Now we're going to go into the meat of it and talk about hexes. Ashe, ashe. All right, be well, stay safe, and I shall see you all very, very soon.
That door. Great question.
Yeah, generational curses, familiar spirits don't happen by coincidence. There was agreement at some point in that lineage that opened the door to what was happening. So now, the same way that in the beginning God spoke, right? Somebody has to speak against it. So the Bible says every tongue that rises up against you, it says you shall condemn. And I love that scripture because it first starts off with no weapon formed against me shall prosper. But then it goes deeper. It says, and every tongue that rises up against you, you shall condemn. Yeah. So, okay, yes, no weapon shall prosper, but how does it prosper? Somebody has to speak.
Wow.
And that's the place of prayer where you're now saying, I, in representing this bloodline, I'm coming out of agreement with this.
A person who is spiritually gifted, like prophetically they can see, won't say nothing about what they picked up on. Those are the type of people who have wisdom and understanding. They will move themselves completely. They would separate themselves because whatever they picked up, they either seen it in a dream, they feel it, God has told them because they have discernment. Y'all got to stop playing with these people and playing with them because they know when your intentions aren't right. They may not say nothing. They may not act indifferent towards you. They may not act mean towards you. But those are the people that can pick up on spirits. They know when something's off. They know when somebody don't like them. And if I'm the type of person, if I know you don't like me, I'm not going to put myself in your presence. Be careful of those who can prophetically see, prophetically sense and feel and have wisdom. Because if I sense and feel something, and your intentions aren't right and your motives are wicked, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna act indifferent. I'm going to go. I'm going to remove myself. I have seen beyond your flesh. I see your spirit. Y'all better stop playing with these prophetic people that got a relationship with God. Stop playing with people that see, because God will show them in a dream, in a vision. God will tell them. Y'all better stop playing with God chosen people.